very important. Venture. You ever heard of adventure? You ever heard of venture capital? See, if you come up with a new company with a new product, and I got a whole lot of money, and I want to invest a few $100 million into your company, that's venture capital. That means that, you know, I want 50%. Maybe management control if you start to falter. Isn't that right? Because why? It's risky. That's why they call it venture. It's risky, but it's a possibility we can make a whole lot of money, though. It's a possibility. So they invested in all these .com companies, the venture capital companies right there on Page Mill Road. They invested in all these .com companies, you remember a few years ago. And they invested in a lot of them, too. And the majority of them folded, huh? Because it was a venture. But still, it's a good risk. If I invest in 100 companies and I get one Microsoft, if I get one Apple, if I get one Cisco system, if I get one Oracle, I'm successful, huh? So what the other ones went out of business? It was a venture. Okay, venture is risky. Isn't life risky? Oh, yeah. Life is risky. I mean, and it's going to be risky as long as you're in it. And so you should go toward the venture. Go toward things that are risky. Take a risk. You want to be successful? It's going to be a risk. It's going to be a risk. You got a business in your mind that you want to do one day? When you get the money to invest in it, it's going to be a risk. But are you not going to do it, or are you going to do it? You're going to do it. It's a venture. It's like in the military. It's a venture, isn't it? A lot of people go in the military, they go to boot camp, and you see a person at boot camp, and this person's strong, powerful. You say, wow, you know, that's a soldier. Talks the language, lives it, even becomes special forces. Green Beret or a SEAL or a Ranger. You say, whoa, that person is tough. He's ready for the venture, huh? But he ain't never been to war yet. The war is the venture, isn't that right? That's where you risk your life at. You don't risk your life on the base. In the karate classes and stuff, you know, no. Now when you get into the venture, now the next V is valor, isn't that right? There's no valor without venture. How will you know if a person's courageous or not? That person can go into the battle and run. They can go into the battle. The same one you thought was Superman or Superwoman, get right in the middle of the heat. No valor. No valor. Okay? Venture proves valor. Okay? So go for the venture. Go for the risk. And if you take the risk, you're going to find out what you're made out of. And the majority of us, we're courageous. Under a struggle, we're courageous. And we didn't even find out that we were courageous until the test came. Isn't that right? Then it brings us to the last V, which is validation. Isn't that right? Isn't that what everybody's looking for? Validation. From who? Not from others, from yourself. You got to be pleased with you. You have to be satisfied with you. You're a fake if you're trying to please other people. If all you do is things that please others, because you want them to accept you, then you're not real. You have to do it for you, so that you feel successful, you feel validated, you feel complete. Okay? So that's the 12 V's. See, and don't worry, you get this in writing. Next 2 weeks from now, I'm going to give it to Irvin, and you'll get this in writing. The 12 V's. There's 12 laws of success. And we have that in writing too. 12 universal laws. Okay? So remember that. You got to go through the process. You got to live life. To not live life is to be involved in evil. Some people say, oh, that's hard. No, it's not. You either live or not live. If you don't live, you're involved in evil. That's why the word live is evil spelled backwards. Okay? You either live or you're involved in evil. Because to not live is evil. To not be your best, that's evil. Evil is just a hardship. That's all. I mean, sometimes when you say the word evil, you'd be thinking about the devil and all. No. Evil is when things are not progressing. things are not healthy. Remember we were talking about a cure and solution? Hey, if evil is around, doesn't evil cause disease? It was somebody else's evil thought, if not your evil thought, that you became alcoholic. Peer pressure that got you involved in drugs, wasn't that evil? Those people weren't living. Because if they were living, they would have had no use for drugs. They had no use for alcohol. They would have no use for lies and crime and any of that if they were living. And we were created to live. You got to do it. And it's risky. It's risky having a family. It's risky being married. That's a venture. It's a venture being married. It's a venture having a relationship. I'm talking about a solid relationship. I'm talking about one night stands, going to the club, trying to find somebody to be with for a day. That's nothing. But to have a relationship with somebody, and many of you, if you don't already have it now, when you get out and you get your job and you get back on your feet and you graduate from the program, you're going to end up in a relationship. And that's a venture. Trust me, you will have valor as a result of it. And but you'll experience validation too, continually. It's continual validation. So living is very important for us because what it does, it brings about the successes in life. And remember, tonight, don't think about your failures, except for like history lessons. History, when we go through history class, history tells us about all the wars and tells us about civilizations that have failed and about leaders that maybe didn't do well and their government fell or So we study history to look at people's failures so that we don't make those mistakes. Isn't that right? So you look back at your past and look at your failures so that you don't make them in the future. That's what they're for. You'll never, ever lose the memory of your failures. As much as you think you would like to. Say, oh, I don't want to think about that no more. No, you can't help it. Trust me. Trust me. It ain't going nowhere. It's like the camera. The camera is filming everything I'm doing, my every movement. You've had a camcorder on you all your life. A lot of people say, well, wow, I really can't understand that concept of how I'm going to die and I'm going to go to Judgment Day. I mean, scientifically, it's easy to understand. This creator that created this electromagnetic body put a camcorder on my head. Isn't that right? So if I was in the room all by myself, with nobody around, I'm looking to make sure ain't nobody because I'm getting ready to steal something. I'm looking, ain't nobody around. I go over and I steal it. And I move out. Was it recorded or what?
Yeah.
It was recorded. If I saw it, if I touched it, it was recorded. If I know if it's a really perverted act, if I touch a woman and she don't want to be touched, isn't that right? She's not my woman. But I touch her. I touch her behind or something. Is it recorded?
Yes.
Did I touch wood or did I touch flesh? Does the hand know the difference?
Absolutely.
Then this and flesh. Was it recorded? Yeah. So if the creator of the technology decides to play it all back, am I busted or what? Everything has been seen. Everything you've seen everything. You've touched. You've smelled everything since you was a child. Has been recorded. You can't get rid of it. You don't need to get rid of it. Keep it. If it's bad stuff, keep it because you don't have to do that no more. You don't want to do that again. But you got two books. You got a success book and you got a failure book. Which one do you want to read every day? Okay? Think about your successes every day. All the way back from the ABCs and down to 100 and all of that. Think about that. Think about your graduations. Think about your financial successes. Think about your relationship successes. Think about those. That's what you want on your mind all the time. Now you know who you are, isn't that right? That's the person you really are.